Hi all, back with more Labyrinth, playing the extended campaign, so this is my part 9. Okay, so yeah, I've got nothing to talk. Well, actually, I've just come upstairs, put my computer on, so I generally check if there's any comments came in or anything like that, but my computer's still starting up and that, doing its thing. So, well, I'm just going to play it a bit and see if I can get a little bit done. I'm not going to get a whole part here, I don't think. Maybe get half an hour if I'm lucky. So, yeah, things looking kind of grim, really, isn't it? Got ourselves in the US, got ourselves in Egypt, Somalia, Islamic rule in Central Asia. Yeah, it's all looking rather horrible. And we went soft to deal with this. So, okay, let's get their first card and play it. Actually, just give me a second. Right, here we go. So, first card. For the jihadist player off turn, I want to say it's turn 3. Not that you count turns, I don't think, do you? You just have another turn. Okay, another jihadist card. Pirates, 2 ops. Jihadist skim, Gulf of Aden, thievery. Play if Somalia or Yemen under Islamist rule. Somalia, Yemen are not under Islamist rule. Okay. Other countries under Islamist rule, no end of turn funding drop. Ooh, okay, yeah. So that would stay in play like that, wouldn't it? However, there's Somalia and Yemen, both not under Islamist rule. Right, okay, so it's unplayable jihadist card. A bit of a sneezing fit here, hang on. Right, so 2 ops unplayable, yeah. So, playable non-US event, no major jihad success at poor possible. I don't think so. No. Closest 1, 2 at Somalia with 2 sales at poor. So, not quite. But we will have a selling good or fair. Is funding tight? No, it is not. So, selling good or fair Muslim. Remember, good or fair Muslim. So, just looking up the US there, obviously, they're not Muslim. Egypt is a sell and fair. Afghanistan is a sell and fair. And that's it. So between Egypt and Afghanistan, however, it's what? Is it 2 ops? They've no reserves. 3 sales in total, so we will need to break this down. Yeah, okay, so, but there is. So we're going to do minor jihad. Actually, we don't look at that, do we? We don't have a... We just look at the jihad priorities table, sorry. So, if jihad, best jihad DRM, again, this is for expansion purposes, so Pakistan and Western Arsenal. Pakistan does not have a cell. I know I muddled these 2 countries up a while back, and the guys were giving me a bit of stick about that. I think it was Jean, to be honest, giving me a hard time, just because I misread the name and the country, but however, we realised in the end. Okay, moving on, Pakistan, West North, so Baziz regime. No, it's between Egypt and Pakistan. I'll tell you why then, because Afghanistan does have Baziz regime now, doesn't it? So it is actually going to be Afghanistan's going to be the priority, but you can see it's only got 1 cell, whereas, so, yeah, what we're going to do is have 1 minor jihad attempt there and 1 there, aren't we? But if Egypt had turned out to be the priority, you can see they would have just done it twice there. So, okay, so Afghanistan's a priority because it has a Baziz regime marker, and that was the 3rd priority down the list. Okay, so I'm not needing to look for any more. So we'll just do 1 there and we'll do 1 down there. So, okay, now, well, we don't want this to happen, clearly, but not when we've just got things back to, well, mind you, our prestige, we need to work on our prestige. Yeah, to be honest, this cell was going to, it's going to go active, yeah, but it's going to go away if it fails, isn't it? And it's not going to leave a cadre behind. So, kind of in some ways, it was allowing me to, bash away at it and get some prestige, but anyway, that's what it is. So there could be good and bad to this failing. However, if it succeeds, that's not good either. But okay, so jihad moves on countries containing cells and not under Islamic rule. For each role in target country, one cell there must go or already be active. So we activate the cell in Afghanistan. I mean, the Basiz regime doesn't do anything at the moment, but obviously if it comes poor that country, and then they need 5 more cells and troops as well, which is, anyway. So minor jihad, worsen governance 1 level towards poor if it's a success. And they'd remove the aid marker as well. Each success, worsen governance 1 level towards poor and remove 1 aid marker. Yuck. Each failure, remove a cell to the funding track. Well, I do want it to fail then. I mean, I'm probably sure I did want it to fail. Anyway, so remember the country's fair, so that's a 2. So 1 dice, and it needs to roll a 1 or a 2 to succeed. Oh, I might just get away with it. A 3. So failure, cell goes back to the track. Jihad does not leave. Yeah, Jihad does not leave a cadre grant. For some reason, grants. Forgotten about that, if that's right already. I need something to look up. Cadre markers. Cadres removed by disruptor event, not jihad or travel. Right, good. Okay. Okay, so that attempt failed. That was ally, yeah, it was. So that attempt failed, so no cells there now. So we are going to come, there's still a minor jihad and there's 1 ops left. So we're going to activate 1 of these cells only. Obviously, because we've only got 1 op left. You can see there is no reserves, or they would have took that and then got the 2 here. So again, Egypt is fair. So it's a 1 or a 2 they need. And it's a 6. So that's a failure as well. So that cell also goes back to the track. Right. Well, at least there's no more damage done off that card. Right, that's that card done. 2 ops, jihadist card, wasn't played for the event. We've done minor jihad. Right, let's move on. Next card. Another jihadist card. IEDs. There's only 1 ops this time. Again, no reserves. They've got US casualties to improvised explosive devices mount. Play if a cell is in a regime change country. Well, if that had came up before, if it come up as the first card, it would have been. We've just removed the last cell from Afghanistan. Remember, it was removed by jihad attempt, so no cadre. Not that it's asking about that. Play if a cell is in a regime change country. If it was, it'd be a US randomly discarding 1 card. So that's only a regime change country, and there's no cell, so we can't play this card either. So it's just 1 ops. We know what they're going to do. They're going to attempt minor jihad in Egypt, aren't they? I really don't need to bash through this too much. No, yes, minor jihad. There's only the 1. Yeah, the only other cells are in Somalia, US, and Central Asia. So there's no minor jihads, or there wouldn't have been a major jihad. Right, so this cell's going to go active. And they're going to try again in Egypt. They need a 1 or a 2. And they get it this time. Well, that was 3 attempts and they got 1 of them. So they worsen the governance in Egypt to poor. The cell stays active but just doesn't go away. I want to say that should do something like that. It's possible I might miss some of these, but as long as it's not getting up to, I mean, my fair good countries, that's good resources. That one needs to get up to there for me to consider anything. So if I'm out by 1 or 2, it's not going to be It's not going to matter. And the poor / Islamist, well, there was a country went Islamist rule, so I bet there's a possibility I might have missed one. So we've got one Islamist rule and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 poor. So that's 7. So you can see I'm way behind there because I've got 5. I've got it marked at 5. So just looking across again, one Islamist rule and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's 6 then, Grant. Or did I say 6? Yeah, no, there is. One Islamist rule and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 poor. So that is 7. So that should be up there. So let me just check the fair and good then. We've got 1, 2, 3 fair. Oh, I've got Indonesia here. That's 4 fair. So that's right, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. See that Abu Sayyaf card? Now, that was removed from the game. We marked that. But marking that does not help me at all because I don't know what it does. So I do want to keep this card down. Just going to keep these cards in this area here. Any marked and removed cards, or even marked cards that haven't been removed. So place a cell. Well, as in effect, US may deploy there and -1 prestige for each plot placed unless troops outnumber cells bought by Morotalks. Right, so nothing's happened there with that, but you do need to remember it's there. Okay, so successful jihad in Egypt this time. And, yeah, okay. Right, that's 2 cards played. Neither for event, so both of these are just getting discarded. And, right, over to us. I haven't looked at my hand yet, so let me have a look. Well, there's a bunch of good and a bunch of bad here. You'll see that every card is a 3-ops card. Sorry, apart from these 2. So, 6 out of my 8 cards are 3-ops. That's a good thing. I've got 4 jihadist cards though, and they're all 3s. But let's look. I want to say weak is ringing a bell, as in we can maybe get away with it not doing anything. But that's just before I started reading it. Play if enhanced measures, renditions, or wiretapping is in the event box. It's not. I'm looking around here, and we've got enhanced measures in our hand, which says play if US hard and disrupt possible. We're not hard, so that's going to be unplayable as well. But the good thing is we can play this for no damage. Yeah, was it Zod had made the comment? He'd been making things very hard for himself. He'd been playing. So if we play this and the event's playable, the event triggers, so we get the 3-ops and they get the event, right? However, if we play this and it can't be played, we play this for 3-ops, because we can't play for the event, it's a jihadist card. We play this for 3-ops. If the event doesn't trigger, what he was doing was giving them the 3-ops. He was allowing them to play a 3-op operation. I think that was it. Yeah, so yeah, you were making it very hard for yourself, because this is a way around. Right now, I can play that for 3-ops and they get nothing for it, and I'm hoping the next 3 are going to be like that as well. Right, Fatah is place a cell in Pakistan. Well, that's allowed. I want to say Fatah is blockable. Is it blocks US bin Laden Zawahiri, removed by Pakistani offensive? I want to say we might have seen that card go by, Pakistani offensive. So this is bad. Place a cell in Pakistan, no disrupt operations there unless regime change. No disrupt operations there. This is bad. I'm hoping that the next 2 are not going to be playable, because I think I'm keeping this card till the end, I think. Right, the next 2. The door of jihad was closed. So there's one of these for the US and one of these for the jihadists. This is the jihadist one. Play if a country tested or improved to fair or good this or last action phase. Right, now remember that got corrected for me recently when I thought it was our last action phase, but it's not. This is play if a country tested or improved to fair or good this or last action phase. Well, as long as I play that card before I do any of that, this action phase. As for last action phase, It was a jihadist player's turn, and there was no countries that were tested or improved to fair or good. The last action phase was the first phase of this turn. The jihadists tried minor jihad here, it failed. Minor jihad here, it failed. Then for their second card, they played minor jihad here and it succeeded. So a country went from fair to poor. However, nothing's went from poor to fair or from fair to good. Nothing's went to fair or good. This card's unplayable right now. We want to play this now. Get out of the way. We could play Leak as our second card, but play this right away. That's your first card play, Grant. I think I was putting them down there when they were playable, so I'll look over it again. It's just I'm not sure. I've not got a load of time, like I said now, so I'll remember. I'll hopefully remember to play that first. You know what I'll do? Put a wee dice on it. That might remind me. Right, this one. I'm hoping this is not playable. It's got grey text, Al Jazeera. Play as Saudi Arabia or an adjacent country as troops. Saudi Arabia does have troops. Not only that, Gulf states adjacent to has troops as well. I mean, you could move your troops out of the two countries, but that's a bit of work. And if I was moving the troops out of there to move them somewhere that was going to help me, then fair enough. But what does it do? Shift the country one box towards adversary. So hang on. Is it shift Saudi Arabia to adversary or shift? It says shift the country one box towards adversary. I just feel like these could be a bit clearer. You know, some of the wording is just, you know, I think most of you get it, but shift the country one box towards adversary. So right now, does that mean play if Saudi Arabia or an adjacent country has troops? Saudi Arabia has troops, adjacent country of Gulf states has troops. Does that mean I can choose and either select either one to shift towards adversary? Or is it just Saudi Arabia? That's the only country actually named in it. I feel like it must be either or because it says shift the country. You know, surely it would say shift Saudi Arabia one box towards adversary, you know. I think it's maybe common sense because it's whichever one's got the troops. If Saudi Arabia didn't have the troops, Gulf states did, the card's still playable. The event's still playable when it would do it in the Gulf states, surely. Okay. Okay, well, maybe we can move the troops. I don't know. Right, so that's the four jihadist cards. So we know that two of them aren't playable. And two of them at the moment are. We could potentially work on this to make it unplayable, but I don't think we're ever going to make that unplayable. Unless there was no cells on the track. There is only 5 on the track right now, but okay. Right, Sully is an associated card which says test Yemen. Yemen hasn't been tested, but again, if it had been, it doesn't matter. You just don't test it again. If US play, unless Islamist rule, shift it to ally and place 1 aid. Oh, that's good. That sounds quite good. So if US play, unless Islamist rule, shift it to ally and place 1 aid. Yeah, so it's all talking about Yemen here. And again, maybe that's just common sense to people, but I say all the time I'm just not good with common sense. I like to read something, and then again I have some ways. I have my own way of reading some things sometimes as well. So it's Yemen. So as long as Yemen's not under Islamist rule, doesn't mean any country under Islamist rule, does it? No, that's not reading that way, Grant, because we do have a country under Islamist rule. So yeah. So we test Yemen, and then we shift it to ally and place 1 aid there. That's really good, because there is a chance that you roll a 5 or a 6 and it becomes fair. So then you've got a fair ally with 1 aid in it, which is pretty awesome. Okay, right, and then the last 3 cards are US. So enhanced measures, yeah, I think we've seen this one before, but this is play if US hard and disrupt possible. Disrupt ones, take a random card for the jihadist land, can be blocked by leak, is the one that along there, but I don't want to put this in play anyway, and then, well, I would play leak first, clearly, wouldn't I? But US isn't hard. And the take a random card, I want to say, did they not just ignore that? 34. Oh, there's nothing there. Oh no, we would actually take a card from their hand, just take the card from the top. So that's pretty good. Disrupt ones. But we need to be hard, so it's unlikely I'm going to be going hard this turn unless things go horrible. I mean, I do have lots of 3 ops cards, so I mean, I suppose I could, but I think we've just went soft, so we're going to work on the soft bit. I know we've got one Islamist rule country that now we can't do nothing about, but anyhow. Right, intel community. Inspect jihadist hand, conduct a 1 value operation. You may interrupt this action phase now to play an extra card. Right, Jean actually commented on my play of this previously by saying, because I thought, I mean, I could see what he said being right enough, and I think he was playing it through the automated bot as well. I want to say the first part of that gets ignored by the bot anyway. Intel community says jihadist bot hand is not inspected, so that first bit we wouldn't do because it's the 1-player game, the bot. We conduct a 1 value operation, so we play the card, conduct a 1 value operation, and then it says you may interrupt this action phase now to play an extra card. Yeah, and I think the time I played it before, I played an extra card, but he said when I played it, when I done my interrupt, I didn't do it, the timing was out. I'm not sure, I'd need to go back and look at the comment, to be honest. I can't see myself playing that for the event anyway. I'm just as well playing it for the 2 ops, I think. Unless I really like to play 3 cards in 1 turn, it might be that a case comes up for that, possibly. Right, and then the last card is Saddam captured. Play of troops in Iraq. There's not. However, I'll try that again. We were wanting to move our troops out of Saudi Arabia, Gulf states. However, the problem is that Iraq is adjacent to Saudi Arabia as well, so moving the troops into there. Now, hang on. I can't just move the troops into there anyway. Iraq's a poor adversary, so I want to say that to deploy troops, it needs to be an ally or the troops track. Ally museum country or the troops track. So, yeah, I mean, getting these countries away from adversary, I've realised is something that you can't really do without events and things. So, probably unlikely to be played for event. What would it do? Place 1 aid there, +1 prestige, block Saddam, and modify it for his event. So it would block the playing of the card Saddam. So, okay, better, slightly better, because we've got lots of 3 value cards. The fact that, I mean, to be honest, I can't see myself getting away from this not being playable as well, though. But these 2 are going to be unplayable, hopefully, if we time it all right. And this looks a decent event. This is probably going to get played for ops. There's a good chance these 2 are getting played for ops as well, so okay. Right, what are you going to do? Well, I want to say that I'll probably run out of time. Well, actually, I haven't really run out of time. But I've got to think what I want to do, and that's probably my problem here. There's lots of things to do, isn't there? Well, War of Ideas attempts. I want my prestige moved. Now, I spoke about what Tim was talking about. He's in some kind of similar situation in his playthrough, and his plan was to start testing some of these country non-Muslim countries out there to try and get a prestige hat, because if we do a posture change and it turns out to be the same as the US, and remember soft, it's 1 to 4 on a D6 to make a country soft, and not only would one hit on the soft take that to that, which is quite nice for end of turn purposes, it also gives you a bump in your prestige if you match the posture roll with the US posture at the time. So there's that way of getting a bit of prestige. It's not guaranteed. Another way is when we remove cells or cadres with troops in them, but yeah. So yeah, just looking back at deploys, if I wanted to move these troops about, it's got to be either an ally Muslim country or the troops track. I mean, putting them to the troops track doesn't allow us to do anything special with them for that. Well, apart from doing the regime change, but yeah, because I want to say when it says deploy 6+ troops, they've all got to come from the one area, haven't they? Either the troops track or an actual country. They've all got to come from the one. You can't say I'll take these two, and these two. So I wonder if we could. No, we can't. It's got to be ally, Grant. This is ally, it's already got troops in it. This is ally, it's already got troops in it. Have we got any other ally countries? This is ally and it's got troops in it. Nope. You've not. So, yeah, I mean, if anything, you want to try and shift some of these. I mean, what I was thinking there was try and shift Pakistan's alignment. This is a 3 ops card. And then possibly deploy a couple of troops in there, and then carry out a disrupt, removing the cadre, gaining a prestige. That all feels like an awful lot for what you're trying to achieve, doesn't it? Well, right now our War of Ideas, unless we're going to good, there's no modifiers, is there? No, so we really need to boost our prestige. Okay, well, one good attempt would be Scandinavia to try and change its posture. Now, hold on. Well, it does, because remember, changing it from hard to soft would move this track twice that way, but it can't move any further than there. So it would move to there. However, if another country got tested as hard, then that would still stay at the 3 box, wouldn't it? I mean, this is just, you count them all up and balance it out. I mean, right now we've got Scandinavia's hard, Israel's hard, and Germany, Russia, Caucasus, and Philippines are all soft. So it's 4 soft, 2 hard. No, the US isn't counted in that calculation because it's there. So 4 soft, 2 hard means that the world's going to be 2 soft. But if I change Scandinavia from hard to soft, then we'd technically take it to like 4, wouldn't it? But it can't go there. So, but there's no harm in that. I mean, I could just test another country, but there could be a chance that if it comes hard, then this actually drops back to here. So that's why I'm sort of looking at Scandinavia, saying it's the sort of target. These are good countries, so it's only a 1-ops card, and I've got no 1-ops cards. Okay. I maybe need to think a little bit. I mean, I did say I've not got enough of time. That's half an hour in just now as well. I'm not going to get an hour's worth, so maybe I might just be better pausing just now and coming back when I can, I think. And I suppose one of the other things, I panicked in the previous game that I had when the US got 2 cells in it, and I panicked and got rid of them right away. And remember, if you disrupt in a non-Muslim country, it does affect 2 cells. Is that right? Oh no. Oh no. It's not. It's if target country's posture is hard and the United States is soft. Okay. I didn't realise that. So affect 1 cell, but if target country's posture is hard, it affects 2 cells. And if 2 plus troops, it affects 2 cells and add +1 prestige. So that's worse. I need to spend 4 cards in the United States to remove both these cells. And before 1-ops cards, I've not got any 1-ops cards. That's an awful lot. So I think I'm going to just not worry about that and hope for the best. Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait and have a wee think about this for now. So we're probably just going to go on pause here for a bit and leave this to the next time, and I've got a bit more time to think about what I'm going to do. And hopefully before I hit record, I'll come back and have a look. Well, I've got this card marked as in to say we probably want to use this right away, but I'm just not sure where I want to start and what I want to do. So, okay, I'll be back the next chance I get. Cheers. Hi all. Right, back to continue this part 9. I didn't actually realise I had a bit of part 9 already done. I think we're 32 minutes in there though, as I checked back there. We left things, I want to say the Jihad player has just had 1 turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, yeah, so he's played 2 cards. So he's only had 1 phase of this turn, and we are sitting with our full hand. That's how I left things. I've got this dice here because, to remind me, I think I want to play this right now. Or just, I'm going to have to be careful about when I play it, because of what. I was just looking back on, not quite got to the end of part 8, but something to get it watched and get out there. I'll probably release it quite shortly. And just me going over this old question I had back in the day, and it looks like it was a kind of daft one, really. Eh? I think it was something that I had read that threw me. But I think we get to the right answers in the end there. But it maybe looks a little bit daft to some of you watching, thinking, why would you have thought that, Grant? It seems quite simple how you go through that procedure. But anyway, yeah, well, it's all sorted now. And it didn't come into our situation, did it? It just brought back memories of the question that I had. And I think, like I say, it was all just down to reading something that somebody had written in a way that I interpreted in my own Grantos type way. Okay, so just however, is this a good time to go into this though? I suppose it is. So I eventually got round, and sorry guys for taking so long to take. I mean, not that it's been that long, but and taking so much time to get around to reading the answers that you kindly spent some time and replying to my radicalisation travel question on the Labyrinth Awakening forums. Yeah, like I say, sorry I've not even replied yet, but I did get around to today to looking over your replies, and the replies came from Jean and also from Zod, and my understanding is that Jean also communicated with the automated bot designer, what was his name again? Kurt, I think, yeah. Yeah. So he's been in communication with him regarding it as well. And apparently, yeah, the automated bot has been doing this. Well, let's start here. The whole thread, the questions out there, go and have a look at the whole thread. I'm not going to read right through it, although I'd like to, because Jean he's put a lot of thought in it, and he's tried to lay it out as not so much as an example, but where I was in the gameplay and what I was saying. So I really appreciate the time that you've taken to look over that and lay it out, Sean, and it's really helped me. But it seems that Jean and Zod are of different opinions on it. However, if I was to pick one that I felt, without the knowledge of designers involved and people that know what they're talking, when I say know what they're talking about, I mean that people that know for sure that the rule is such and such. And if I was to pick one of them, it would be the way John's looking at it, for sure. I want to say this might not have been the way he looked at it originally, but I think he realised that when he was going through it all and whatever. And it does play out the way I've been explaining it without starting to go through it all again and talk about Central Asia, moving to China and then Indonesia. Like there's a cell in here and there's where do they go? I'm saying I'm not going to do it, right? Right now, if we had 3 ops and we were doing a radicalization travel, right? Now, this is the way I'm seeing it playing out. Maybe I really would like to go through this on video, to be honest, but it's going to take up at least half an hour, and I'll possibly leave it for another part to go through it. The thing is, the situation is going to come up again, so I can talk about it there. But there is a lot if I'm going to read through it or whatever. But anyway, so hopefully I've got this right. Jean's view is the same as I seen this. Now Zod is I think he's got a different view. It's not 100% clear how he finishes, how he ends the thread here, but I think he does look at it differently. So we've got 3 ops points. We're going to do radicalization travel. We want to mess with global war and terror relations, because there's not one. US are hard, right? So 3 ops. We decide which is the... we need to move... We're looking for adjacent non-Muslim countries that are not marked, right? So, yeah, Grant, you said you didn't want to go in it deeply. Look, what's going to happen here is Central Asia is going to be checked down here, down the priorities, and it's going to be, was it highest resource that we came in? No, it was poorer than fair than good, wasn't it? That was the travel from priority. And at the time, Central Asia was poor, and obviously Indonesia and Malaysia was fair. So, first stop point. That travels to China, right? Now, Central Asia does now not have an adjacent non-Muslim unmarked country, right? So, that's what we want. Now, the talk here is, and I think this is what Zod felt like, and to be honest, I think Jean felt like this originally, that we would carry on with this country and travel to non-adjacent, non-Muslim, unmarked countries. But hopefully I've got this right. My understanding is that that's not how Jean is viewing that now, and it is the way that I sort of thought about it. Now, the way that the designers wrote that 3A, 3B, and 3C, Jean explains it quite well in the thread. Go and have a look at it. It does start sinking in for me. And that's why I would like to kind of read it out, but it's just, there's a lot involved. So, it does start sinking in. But anyway, this seems like the most common sense way of when you look at it. So we've still got Indonesia, Malaysia, which is adjacent to Thailand, which is an adjacent, unmarked, non-Muslim country. So with our second ops point, we would come back here. I think this is what the bot designer says. You come back here and look at this again, because there's no more adjacent from Central Asia. You come back and look at this again. Now, is there another adjacent? Yes, there is, here. So the second op would go like that. right? And then there's no more now that are adjacent. So where does the third op go? Well, can it comes back here again. Can we go adjacent? No. Right. You know, there's not another adjacent one that we could go with. If there was, we would do that, and that's the 3 ops spent. However, there's not. So then we want to travel from an auto-recruit country. Interestingly, this is Islamist rule now, which actually is an auto... Well, I suppose you could... Well, no, it wasn't at the time. It was poor, right? So you would look for an auto-recruit country to travel from. And then if there wasn't one of them, you would look for the fewest cells. And... I mean, right, things have all changed. Well, I think at that case, there was we were just looking at, there was 1 cell here and there was 5 cells there or 4 cells there. And that was the only things we were looking at. So if you got to fewer cells, and this was the only thing that had cells left, and mind, these have already moved, so we can't move them again. Then you would take one of them and you would go through the travel 2 priorities, and you would come here first to go through that and find out where that 1 cell would travel to. Now, bear in mind, it wouldn't be adjacent, so it would have to roll on it, and you would just go through the priorities. I think that's the way it is. It sounds like the simplest way of dealing with it, and that was nowhere, wasn't it? I think that's the way that John sees it as well. Zod, I think, sees it the other way, that you would stick with that country. I think that's how he's viewing it. I'd like to read over it myself again, and anyway, I do appreciate your comments on it all, guys, both of you, and the different views on it. I want to say, yeah, John eventually comes back with an edit confirming, what is that? That Kurt had agreed that his bot was doing it wrong. I think his bot was doing it the way that Zod has seen it. I can't seem to find that confirmed edit there, but I think it's there somewhere. There you go, edit. After a long discussion with Kurt, thanks again, he's got in brackets, we apparently agreed on my reading of the rule plus clarification from Adam. Okay, so he's got clarification from the physical bot designer as well. That's good. I never actually noticed that. It says the current bot implementation will properly favour travelling adjacent cells, but will not select them using the travel from priorities as clarified by Adam, but using the travel to priorities as standard travel operation. See, this is the thing. This is the one bit that changed, because you all, in the rest of the game, you pick your travel to first, then your travel from. And Adam explains that the reason it's done this way with the bot is to give it more randomness, whereas the player could see exactly what the bot's going to do. It's now a bit more random the way it's done. That's picking the travel from first. I think that's what his reasoning for was it. Okay, well, I've spent 10 minutes on that. So, but I really do appreciate you going through that, guys. And it feels to me, I'm going to do it that way, unless I'm interpreting you both wrong. Like I say, Zod is on the other side of the fence with it, I believe, but I'm afraid I'm going to stick with that way that I just spoke about. It feels more, that feels right to me. And the fact that Kurt and Adam seem to both agree with that now as well. There's some kind of authority. I mean, Kurt, I don't know, he's a designer of the automated bot. Whether there's any authority in that, I mean, I think he's just taken that, he's built his bot from the rules. But Adam himself designed this physical bot, and if he's agreed with that, sounds like there we are. Hopefully. But yeah, thanks again for clearing that up, guys. Well, hopefully it's put to bed. Like I say, there's still maybe not everybody's 100% with it, but I'm going to go with that for now. Okay, so back to the game. So yeah, I was glancing there before I hit record about what I'm going to do. There's loads of things I want to do because we're in a mess, really. We're in a mess. We've got 2 cells in the US. We've got 2 cells in Somalia. Baziz regime marker in Somalia. Let's see, this is an active cell in Egypt. Did that travel? Oh, look, Grant. Don't go back and start thinking of... Yeah, I had another message from John Um, coming up with why he thinks that my videos are going longer than they used to. I'll not go deeply into it. I do agree with you on it, John. I suppose my problem is that my main, well, let's face it, the main priority of this is to have fun. You know, I want to enjoy the game that I'm playing, and I get a joy from that. But really, very close behind that, and I've always said it, is getting things right, getting the rules right, not making blunders. It's really hard to do in these games, and I don't see anybody shaking their head at that and saying, "Oh, it's a doddle." But you know, I'm sure you all agree with that. So yes, when I go and look at a rule and I look at it deeply and I consider other possibilities with the rule, and then like I was just about to do there, was wonder back on why this is active and look back. I mean, I shouldn't really be needing to do that because I've done that. Whatever reason that cell's active, it should be right. And I've not watched back that bit of the video yet. It's probably just in the beginning of this part of the video, to be honest, part 9. So. Yeah, but I agree with what you're saying about it. How that's what makes things just drag on a bit and whatever. But am I going to be able to better that and get better at it? I don't. Probably not. Probably not. I think we've just got to accept that that's how Grant's videos are going to go. And there must be, well, I'm saying hundreds of people. There must be dozens of people that have come by my videos and said, not for me, move on, let's find somebody else that does things a bit quicker to start with or whatever. Anyway, right, let's go. Right, so we've got Islamist rule, Central Asia, nothing we could do about that. I mean, the only thing we could do about that is go hard again as the US. And not only that, we need to send at least one troop back to the troops track to be able to then regime change. I mean, I might have to consider that, but at the moment we're just going to let that go, and it's causing trouble. The reason there was 2 cells placed in here and the US was in fact because that's Islamist rule, or it would only have been 1 cell in each. So things like that are going to. And then every end of turn we take a -1 prestige because we've got Islamist rule. So yeah, all these things. We've got troops here and troops here that aren't really doing much. We could start. This has got a Baziz regime in it as well. There's no cells in there. No, Afghanistan. How did we get rid of that? How did that cell go away? It must have been a jihad attempt. Yeah, it was. Yeah, let's not, again, you've done it right, Grant. Just assume you've done it right. We'll look back in the video. We had this Baziz regime, Afghanistan got a cell, Pakistan got a cell. We removed the cell with the event. Was it Secret Service? It wasn't. Whatever it is. What's the words I'm trying to... It's one of the last few cards we played, wasn't it? No, so that's would be a bit further back than I thought. Or was it removed? Special Forces, that's the word. That's what I'm trying to get out. Secret Service. Special Forces, which removes a cell that's in or adjacent to troops, isn't it? Something like that. So we used that to take that out. I think the other cell that was in there must have... I think it was a minor jihad that had tried and failed and obviously went back. So... I don't know what's important. One of the things I talked about doing was maybe trying to put Scandinavia soft to get this up at max, which will help. It only helps the end of turn, doesn't it? Does it not give us a prestige? I don't think it helps through the turn, does it? That one. I mean, obviously, if this is a negative, it hinders us through the turn, but I don't think it helps through the turn if that's at 3 and we're the same as it. I think it's just the end of turn one, isn't it? Or have I got that? Yeah. Yeah, global war terror relations penalty. It only comes into it when it's a penalty here. When we're trying to do war ideas and that. But we would benefit from that. But maybe that's not as important just now because we could flip that, and then before the end of the turn, it could go come back on us again. So maybe not fussy about that. Now the sales in the US are pretty bad. There's no weapons of mass destruction out there yet, though. So obviously that's a game losing condition if there was, and it plotted in there and we didn't deal with the plot. Remember, we got a chance to deal with the plot, so unless it was we had no cards left, for instance, and you had to put a plot in the last turn or something like that, the last phase of the turn, and we had no cards left. I suppose that would do it. But there's no weapons of mass destruction, and it needs to be one of them that ends the game. So what else can we consider doing? We've got a serious bunch of cards. I'm wanting to play this Door of Each Ad was closed. I thought about maybe trying to... That's just improving the alignment, isn't it? Trying to work on Somalia a bit, but... And of course, all my troops are in areas that there's no cells now, so we can't go... I can still disrupt in here, yes, but I'm only going to disrupt one cell while there's no troops. Now, see, what I could do is get that alignment to ally and then deploy some of my troops into Somalia and then work on the cells. And that's maybe something to think. I don't know. This feels like doing this feels a bit weak. It doesn't feel like a strong play. Whereas maybe trying to convert this to good feels like a bit stronger sort of play. That would then allow me to get the troops back. You know, one of the things that slightly bugs me, and I'm sure it shouldn't, is using a 3-ops card in a fair country when I'd rather use it in a poor country because I feel like I'm getting my money's worth. But that's probably the wrong way to look at it. And we do have two ops, two 2-ops cards here. The rest are all 3s. This one's pretty useless as an event. It's not great as an event. This one would be quite good as an event, but I would have to get troops in Iraq. And that's not going to happen anytime soon because I can't do anything in Iraq. You know, I'm starting to realise the game, when the country's adversary, there's little you can do unless you've got some event that does it, and you can't work in the country. There's nothing you can do in the country, is there? Technically, no. If I've not got troops, if it's not ally, or there's no troops, or it's non-Muslim, they're the 3 conditions you need to disrupt. So, if any cells go in there, I can't disrupt them. War of Ideas, I can't War of Ideas in there because it needs to be neutral or ally. I can't deploy troops in there because it needs to be ally. Alert. I could possibly remove a plot. Any country with a plot. Okay, so I can remove a plot. But then that's all I can do in an adversary country, I think. Apart from when it's Islamist rule adversary, then I can regime change, but I need to be at hard posture. So, that's another thing we can do at soft, remember, Grant. Remove troops from regime change. So in actual fact, I don't need to keep these here. I don't need to get this good to take these back, do I? Because the withdraw operation, remove troops from regime change. US must be soft, and then it cost me 3 ops, deploy any number of troops back. But I'd remove the aid, and it would place a Baziz regime. Ooh, can you have more than one of them? And you roll prestige, actually. That was the other thing. I need to look it up about Baziz regime because there's already one in there. My thinking is, I'm pretty sure you're only allowed one in a country, because then that would be an auto major jihad when they had the country at poor, wouldn't it? They wouldn't need to even roll the dice. Okay, so what are we going to do? Come on. Yeah, I was just looking. I know there was a card, one of the jihadist cards that I could have worked to try and avoid. Play if Saudi Arabia or an adjacent country has troops. But that's going to be difficult to. And even if I'm talking about moving troops down here, it's still adjacent to Saudi Arabia. So these troops would have to probably go back to the track, and these would have to move away from adjacency and not here. Potentially. Why don't I try and get in Pakistan ally instead of Somalia, and then move in two of the troops. See, the troops have to come from one area, don't they? Move two of the troops to there to remove the cadre, and then move the other two troops back to the track, and then we can play that Al Jazeera card without it going off. Well, Pakistan does have weapons of mass destruction possibility. I guess I'm looking at Somalia because it's got Bazi's regime and it's got cells, but right now if they got a recruit operation, the priority is Pakistan, isn't it? Well, not the top priority, but recruit. Well, when you come out of the flow chart, the second priority is Pakistan, unless no Arsenal. But that's when you've been through the flow chart, admittedly. Okay, let's have a go at that, right? So I'm going to play the door of jihad was closed. Now, the grey text there and the condition to play this event is play if a country tested or improved to fair or good this or last action phase. Well, this action phase, this is the first card that I'm doing. And as long as actually it doesn't matter because I'm not going to change the governance if I use it in Pakistan. It's just going to shift the alignment to ally. So, but if I was shifting governance right now, I play the event first. It doesn't trigger. Then I use the ops to shift governance from poor to fair, and this has already been checked before, and it doesn't trigger. Right, and then last action phase was the jihadist action phase, and certainly nothing went to fair or good in there as well. Okay, so I'm playing this. It's not going to trigger the event. We've got 3 ops, and right, what's my other ideas at? Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. I'm maybe not doing this then. I forgot my prestige dropped to medium. That's why I was looking up at Scandinavia, thinking about trying to change its posture, because it gives you a prestige boost as well. Right, let me just take that back and rethink this. Play of troops in Iraq. I can't see that being. That's never going to get played. So, do we have a go at Scandinavia then? It's really, I think it's the only way of increasing my prestige is because I've all the countries have got troops. There's no cells, and remember, you gain prestige by disrupting cells when you've got troops. But that's why I'm thinking that and maybe moving them. But that's at the moment to do a war of ideas. I'm getting nothing, am I? There's no aid marker there. There's no global war on terror relations penalty, however, but there's no prestige boost while it's sitting in medium. There's no aid. We wouldn't be shifting to good, so, and there's no adjacent good allies. Yeah, that's a long way from coming here. Well, to be honest, Afghanistan, that's a point. Again, though, if I'm going to do a war of ideas, let's get my prestige up to here first. Right, okay. I'm going to do that. For my first card play, I'm going to play Intel Community instead for 2 ops. Unfortunately, one of the ops is wasted, but... and I'm just playing that for the ops, and it's a US event, so nothing needing to worry about there. Right, and I'm going to attempt... And I'm as well doing it in Scandinavia because Scandinavia is hard. I mean, I could do it in one of the other countries, but it could end up coming up hard. I mean, if it comes up hard there again, nothing moves. So, right, so I'm going to do a War of Ideas in Scandinavia. 2 ops. It's that good, so I've got 2 ops. I'm wasting 1 basically, like I say. So non-US, non-Muslim country, roll and posture table. If outcome is the same posture as US posture, +1 prestige. Right, so and then prestige posture roll is 1 to 4 is soft, which is what we're looking for. 5 to 6 is what we're not looking for. We turn it hard. We keep it hard. Which then is probably going to force my hand to do it. Try it again. But the die rolls haven't been very kind to us recently, so I'm hoping that's going to change. Right, 1 to 4 we want. Come on, be nice. Ooh, the 6 was floating about. Right, we're in. We're good. Okay. Right, result. So Scandinavia goes from hard to soft. Okay. Now, what that ends up doing is that would move up 2. I spoke about this yesterday, I think, didn't I? But we can't go above 3 anyway. So it just goes to 3. But I want to say that if let's just say Spain right now tested hard, I think that would stay where it is. Because we'd count them up, and the soft would outnumber the hard by 3, I think, still, even when one of them came in there. Because in actual fact, there's no hard markers out there, so the only hard country is Israel. And soft-wise, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 against 1 is 4. Yeah, 5 against 1 is 4. So if there was a 4 on this, that's where it would be. You know? So if another hard comes, it's going to be 5. Sorry, what did I say? 5 against 4? Like, no. It's 5 against 1. Yeah. So if another hard country came up, it'd be 5 against 2. So that would still be there. And remember, if that's there at the end of the turn, we get that. I think it's a +1 prestige, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay. And the other thing was we rolled soft, so match is the same as the US, so we get the 1 prestige. So now we're in the +1. Now we can do something better. We're going to get a +1 to the die roll. So do we come back to consider Pakistan? However, just after thinking, why not have a go? Because it's +1 aid there. I know you're getting a -1 for trying to go to good, but we've got +1, +2, so we're getting a +1. And if we get that to good, then we've got an adjacent good ally, you know, which will help in Pakistan. So let's give that a go then on my second card. So all my other cards are 3s apart from Saddam captured. I mean, it's quite a good event to play, but I just can't see myself getting troops in Iraq. While it's adversary, I can, like I've just said, I can do very little in Iraq. So I'm going to play this for the 2 ops. Again, so no event played, and it's a US card, so nothing to worry about there. And I'm going to have a War of Ideas attempt in Afghanistan. Yes. Okay, so I'm just double checking the modifiers. We do have an aid marker. It is attempting to shift to good, so -1, no penalty. +1 for a prestige being at high. So that balances out to 0. Each aid marker +1. Adjacent good ally, we're not getting that. So we've got a +1 net modifier here. And we need a 5 or a... Well, actually, we need a 4. A 4 or better to get a result. Come on, let's have 2 die rolls in the trot. Oh, or not. Damn it. Okay. Right then, well, that's our 2 card plays, so that's going to be that. Yeah, and the failure there just does nothing, so that's fine. Actually, I was forgetting, we had already had 32 minutes, so there's another 32, so I'm going to say that's 64 minutes now. So I'll stop there. That's the 2 cards played. Now remember, none of these were played for events, so they just get discarded. Again, it's not a huge... It's just the oil price spike thing that's ever going to come into that being an issue, but So yeah, I'll leave that there. Well, I suppose we got half of something done in our favour. And yeah, it seems there's still more talk about rules and questions and whatever rather than gameplay, but going to try and keep it moving along a bit. Oh yeah, and I've got a chance to play a bit tonight, so it's only 4:45. I've got the night to myself, so I hope to get 2 or 3 parts done. Should I copy this across first? I think I will copy this across to get it started, and then so I'll be back in 5-10 minutes or something with a new part. Okay, cheers.